Howdy y'all, it's Kate from The Lifestyle Lady. How are you? How are you doing? Hope your week's going well. Well, as we approach the end of January, it is time for January favourites. And today I'm going to share with you some of the things I've been loving this month, things that have been getting me through, things I've been enjoying. So I hope it might be useful for you. So let's crack on. The first thing that I'm picking up from my collection is this. It is the L'Oreal Paris Super Slimline Eyeliner. Now, I'm not a huge eyeliner wearer. It's something I've got more into probably in the last few months, predominantly because I have small eyes and I don't want to give that very heavy winged look, although I love it on people who've got large eyes. So I just want to kind of enhance them and not make much of it. So this is really great for that because it gives you a little bit of oomph, but not too much. It's also a great way to learn to use eyeliner if you're not very experienced at doing it, because you're not dealing with a huge fat sort of tip or thick nib. So it allows you to be a lot more precise, and it allows you to get right into the corner of your eye, which a lot of people don't do, and I think it can look a bit messy. So I have loved this. If I show you how thin it is, there's the back of my hand. I will draw it so you can witness. Shame I can't draw a straight line. I promise you I'm not drunk. But that's how thin it is. And what I really, and you'll notice if I hold it against my hand, how thin the nib is. Now it's almost so fine that the best way to apply it is by the side, and that gives you quite a strong grip. I've loved this. I'm going to repurchase another one. It's drugstore, not too high end. It's available internationally, so it's a really good price point. So whether you're an experienced eyeline wearer or not, I urge you to get this. It's great for precision and great for daily use. So fabulous. The one I've got is this, which if you watched my video, and if you haven't, please go watch, about the Sephora Superstars, you'll notice that I got this in it, and it is the Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlighter and Illuminator. I am in love with this. This highlighter is super. I love anything chunky, quick, that you can just apply and rub it in. You can put it wherever you need it. It's a roll up, roll down. It's really pretty. It's not too heavy a highlight, but still gives you that oomph. Very pretty, very easy to use. If you're scared of highlighting, I urge you to try this one because you're not using a brush, so you can get a little bit more precise in where you want it. It's also super for the winter because if you're anything like me and your skin and everything's a little dehydrated, and your skin needs hydration, because this is in like a balm form opposed to a powder, it does add to that very creamy edge, and it's not going to stick and like kind of coat in your pores. So great. And if you're not a massive foundation wearer or you don't wear a lot of face makeup, you could also use this because again, it's not going to give you that cakey feeling. So this is really great. It's Clinique. Give it a look, give it a recce. It's worth it. My final makeup item is another drugstore one. Look at me, I'm getting drugstore heavy. It is this, the NYX Butter Lipsticks. Now, if you've never tried, I call it NYX. They're a fantastic brand. They are incredibly affordable. I mean, even by drugstore standards, they're quite inexpensive, but their stuff is super good. And whenever I'm in the grocery store, not every time, but occasionally I'll stop at NYX. You get them at grocery stores, you can get them at drugstores, you can get them in chemists. I know they do them in the UK. What I love about these is that this is their butter lipstick. They are so kind of like lip balmy, but with a stronger pigment. So it's like wearing a lipstick, but has that lovely feeling. This one is in the colour Sweet Tart. Well, is there a better name for me? It is so pretty and it's so balmy. I'm going to put it on for you. Lovely and bright, really moisturising. I always have these in my car. I have 2 or 3 of them in my car because usually if I'm running out the door, taking little Elle to school or whatever I'm doing, and I think, oh my goodness me, I need that pop of colour on just to warm my face and wake it up. And so I love these. They're not all such strong colours, but I love, as you know, a pop of colour. Really good, really affordable. If you see one, chuck it in your basket. They're really worth it and super affordable. The next thing I want to talk about is Avène cleansing mask. Now it's between a mask and a scrub. One of the things I will confess to you is that when I was away in Europe, my skincare routine was was there, but it wasn't as vigorous as normal as I'd have when I'm at home. And so when I came back, I really wanted to give my face a good cleaning, and not just with a cleansing balm, I meant like a scrub. Now I have to be careful because I have got I get a lot of rosacea, that kind of, and I've got to be careful not to damage my skin in terms of causing like blood vessel, you know, like blood vessels and things on my skin to come forward because I've scrubbed too hard. Now Aven produced this, which is their cleansing mask. Now Aven can be bought. I bought this in my local Walgreens, in my local drugstore. I know they do it in Boots in the UK. I know you can get it online. It is slightly more expensive for a drugstore, but it's certainly not high end, but it's super good. It's really good for sensitive skin, and that's what I need. And again, it doesn't contain anything nasty or bad for you, which is what I like. So you put a little bit on in the mornings. Can you see it there? You rub it in. Oh look, it's removing everything on my hand. It has a very, very pretty light fragrance. Really nothing offensive, which is one of the things I love in the morning. When you wake up and you're on your face, you don't want to be doing that sort of heavy floral or heavy fragranted product. It's such an elegant smell. It's such a tasteful smell. It's kind of expensive kind of smell, which is... And basically you rub it in and you're as vigorous with it as you want to be, or as much as you need to be. So what I tend to do is to keep it away from my eye area, because we need to be careful not to pull that area. And I'm slightly more vigorous around my T-zone, around my mouth, and kind of around here, particularly on my chin, where I tend to get breakouts, particularly hormonal ones. So I've been thrilled with this. I've been thrilled with what it's doing to my skin. I've been thrilled with how it's settled into my skincare routine and how it's making my skin feel. I like it because 1, it's not too abrasive, and 2, it's not got any nasties in it, and 3, it's effective. And so happy, happy, happy with that. The final item of skincare is something that actually I confess I've been using for a few months, but it takes me a few months to really like something generally for my body. Now I don't know about you, but I am not that good at making sure I apply some sort of body cream every time my skin hits water. Because honestly, I don't like that greasy feeling. It just makes me hot. You know, the idea of like lathering yourself up like some sort of, in sort of whale blubber, and then getting into bed and just feeling sort of like slightly greasy and sort of warm and like, ugh, horrible. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. It might just be for me. I also hate doing that thing and then feeling the next morning like, oh, my skin's still as rough as ever. You know, it's still like sandpaper. Until I found this. This is Kiehl's Creme de Corps, right? It has been around since 1851, Kiehl's, and this is one of their signature products. I absolutely love this. It has transformed my skin. I suffer with a lot of dry skin, and this has, I think, single-handedly really, really improved my skin. Now, what I love about it, let me turn, there we go, is, again, this does turn quite white when you apply it to your skin, but it soaks in super lovely, and it is so nourishing. Now it does give you, I'm going to confess, that slightly greasy feeling that makes me want to oof, but the feeling afterwards, once it's sunk into my skin, which doesn't take as long, is super lovely. It's just hydrating, nourishing, and my skin really feels like, I don't want to say velvet because that's a bit of, that's over egging the pudding, but it really is making my skin great. And in the winter, we all need that. And especially now, we're kind of on the countdown because we're trying to be positive. Well, for me in Texas, it always feels like bloody summer, but for you guys who maybe aren't from that climate, getting the body prepared for summer with a great exfoliation, this is magic. So I've urged you, you can buy them in smaller ones, buy small and give it a try, see if it suits your skin, but I've loved it. So that's beauty over with. Next, making the house smell good. I came home and, you know, spring's around the corner and you just want to open the windows and doors and let the air in, air the house, you know, just out with the old and in with the new. That's kind of how I feel for January where I live. But for me, opening doors is a little difficult. I know that some hardy Texans here will think I'm nuts, but I'm always a little scared of the kind of rodents and snakes we get, and spiders where I live. So doors are shut. So I do open windows, but I also love to have candles burning. I love the fragrance of them. I love the cozy feeling it gives you. But again, I'm very picky about those too. I like more the floral fragrances. Again, a bit like my body cream choices. I don't like those heavy sweet smells. So this kind of few weeks we've been burning this white gardenia. This is by Bath and Body Works. This is one of their better ones. Oh my goodness me. I love gardenias. I love their smell. So anyone watching this, if you know a gardenia fragrance that's really great, please let me know because I'd love to get one. But this is super lovely. It's been burning in my kitchen and covering up the mask of my hubble bubble of cooking. So I love that. Super good. Now, one of my New Year's resolutions was to continue with the reading theme, trying to keep reading before I collapse at bed at night. And I have just finished this book. It's called When Breath Becomes Air. And when I was in the UK, I bought it. It was on the kind of bestseller list. Actually, I read an article about it in the New York Times. It's basically about, now I'm going to try and pronounce his name, Paul Kalanithi, something like that. Now let me tell you, he was a neurosurgeon, a highly intelligent guy who unfortunately lost his battle with cancer. And it's basically the book he wrote when he found out that he was dying. That makes you think, ugh. It's not like that. It's beautifully written. And I think one of the things I find quite amazing and what I enjoyed about the book was not even the story. It's the impact of the story that it's had on me since reading it, since closing the book. Now, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it's more the kind of not the moral message, but the idea that this guy, I think he was 35, you know, or 37 or so, you know, not that far from my age, lost his life. And I think about him when I'm moaning or I'm thinking about, ooh, you know, and we all do that. We're all guilty. It's not just me. And I just love the title of the book, When Breath Becomes Air. So I urge you, if you see it anywhere, pick it up and give it a read. Trust me, it didn't take long to read it. It was kind of a very addictive reading in terms of turning the pages. It's a profound book and with a really heartfelt and important message. So if you have a chance, give that a read. Finally, I wanted to talk about Audible. Now, I downloaded Audible just before I left for Europe. It's a app that you can get for listening books because, you know, I just mentioned that I'm trying to read more. Well, I spend a lot of time in the car, taking little L here, there and everywhere. And so I want the ability to be able to listen to things. And I thought, I'm going to give this a try. I think it's part of Amazon. And I've been enjoying it. I've downloaded the 3rd book in the Outlander series and I think I'm nearly finished that. And I have to be honest, listening books have always been a little tricky for me because my mind tends to wander. You probably couldn't imagine that's possible. But it does. But I've been trying really hard to pick up, and I really like the fact that it does it for you. It's on your phone, so you can listen in your car, you can Bluetooth it to your speaker, all those sorts of things. So it's been really great. I'm really enjoying it, and I love the fact that I'm effectively reading 2 books at once, which is manic for my mind. Oh, and finally, just going to talk about my Fitbit, which is not a new thing. It's a favourite for this month because I need to smack my hiney into action and get out walking and enjoying the fresh air and get my lardy bum moving to do some exercise. So the Fitbit's a good way of monitoring how many steps I'm doing, and I need to do more. That's it, folks. That's January favourites. We're out of what some people consider the darkest month of the year, and we're moving into February, the month of love. So enjoy the rest of your week. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please do subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Love, 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 love hearing from you. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Speak again soon. Ta-ta for now.